Hey everyone, Steph here. Today is October 21st, 2022, and this weekend is YCS Minneapolis. This will be my first ever YCS. I'm excited. I'll show you what we're rolling with later on in the video, but for now, just finishing packing up and getting ready to head out. I don't have much expectations for today. Today's just check-in. Tomorrow's the actual event, or day one of the event. I don't have any great expectations. I don't expect myself to top, but if I do something crazy like that, that's nice. All right. Just do occasional vlog shots throughout the video, I guess. All right, it is the first day of the YCS and round one just ended. Took a loss against Runic Sprite. It was a hell of a match though, I'm not gonna lie. So round one, dude loops his Runic stuff so much. He had 8 or 9 cards in hand on his turn, and it was just no, we gotta go. Game two, I opened all 3 of the kaijus in my deck, and I just kept kaiju tribute, and I opened a ton of board breakers. Dude scooped it up. Go to game 3. Game 3 was intense. Sadly ended up, and I couldn't take it down. I didn't have enough resources. I drew Super Poly off Triple Tactics, which it would have been great if I opened Super Poly, because I would have been able to break his board. But what can you do? I'll try to do a recap at round 2 and 3 and further rounds. So yeah, round 2 is in the books, and I didn't win. This time, instead of playing Runic Sprite, which is a matchup I'm a little bit more confident towards now, because she had to know what I'm doing, I was playing a normal Sprite, and Nimble Beaver is a hell of a card, and so almost all the Sprite stuff is insane. And this dude, he honestly just kicked my teeth in. I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy, dude. Game 1, we didn't even go to game 3. Dude that's how bad he beat me. So game 1, he gets the new Sprite trap card, the Double Cross. I never read it before. I never heard it, and basically he just mind controls my red beard and leaves me on, I think, 2 cards that I couldn't use. So I think he actually left me on 0 cards now that I think about it again. But game 2, I draw into some board breakers. My draw for turn is Super Polymerization, which I plan to use to soup up his Degen Buster and his IP Masquerena, which I do. I make Starving Venom, but he chain smashers, banishes my Starving Venom. So, yikes. He then elves back his blue, and his blue gets him to, I think, his Jet, I believe. I don't remember exact. No, blue gets Pixies. And then basically I have to try to maneuver a board. So I go and I think I do some sort of, no, I pitch white, no, I negate, or I attempt to negate blue with Forbidden Droplet. So I send Whitebeard, which when special summon a Planet Patrol from my deck, get Golden Hair live, and I could maybe mix something of the turn. However, he chain smashes and banishes the blue and my Starving Venom. Thus, I have to negate the elf, which already used its effect, so it's kind of a pointless negation. But yeah. So I can't do much for that turn. Past turn, he OTKs me with Gamma Explosion, Gamma Sprite, Gamma something, and like Swap Frog, Jet, and Apollosa too. Dude went nuts. Like, there's no way. Like that. That's all I can say. Maybe if I had like, actually no, I don't think that was a winnable match really. But yeah, next round will be round 3, and I'll try to do a recap for that. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Hopefully I play something different that isn't like Sprite. Like, I'm fine with playing TR Element, dude, please. Round 3 is in the books. Played against Exo Sister, so something different. Game 1, opponent sets up. He sets up the X seed that you put both the Michaelis and the other one together. Make that. I don't know what I'm doing against the Exo Sister matchup. I never played against Exo Sister. I didn't even read a single one of their cards. He has Pot of Prosperities, and he gets goes in match, which freaks me out a lot because he also de-shifted earlier in his turn. So, I mean, it turns off basically all of my plunders that float, and yeah, I summon Griffin Rider to maybe get something off with Blackbeard. He flips goes in, I pick up the cards because I can't do anything. Game 2, he Prosperities, I ash it, he triple attacks, and he rips Golden Hair out of my hand, which I had Golden Hair and Whitebeard, 2-card combo there. He rips the Golden Hair out, so I only have the Whitebeard in hand, and I have Droplet and Plunder Patrol Booty also in my hand. There's essentially nothing else I can do. I Droplet his, I want to say his Michaelis, or one of his Exo Sister Exceeds, and I pitched the Whitebeard to try to get some plays going. But nothing really sticks for me. So he ends up like, I go to battle phase with, I summon the Bluebeard off the Whitebeard, and I use Emblem. Emblem was the other card in my hand. I Emblem, equip on the Bluebeard, Emblem, get Golden Hair so I can have Golden Hair in rotation. I crash Bluebeard into the Michaelis, which will, pitch Plunder Patrol Booty, draw a card, maybe draw into like Black Eyes, because Black Eyes would completely save me in that duel, or would have saved me, would have allowed me to combo at least a little bit. I draw into Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, which I think, oh, I can break his board. He cannot. He won't be like, I'll get another turn maybe. Well, I do it. I get a Thunder King, and I give him a Radiant. He proceeds to rebuild his board entirely and banish my Thunder King, and then punch for 56 and 28 when I was on 8,000. So that was round 3. It was the quickest round so far of the YCS. Like, oh my god, dude absolutely thrashed me in the worst way possible. I'll see you guys for round 4. All right, round 4 is in the books, and it's another loss. So this time it was against Earth Machine though, and I actually got to play a decent bit. Game 1, he goes, I think full combo, but I did Ash Blossom his, I think one of his Infinitrax with special summons from the deck, I do believe. And he ended on like, I think an Anger Knuckle and maybe, I don't know. It wasn't too much because I pretty easily crack it, and I end up going like completely nuts. I hard summon a Murk. I make a list. I give him a Kaiju. I give him Radiant, and I make him Murk with Blackbeard. Murk banish the Radiant. I use the I draw into ships. I ships the fusion spell. I ships fuse off the Murk and I think a Red Beard, and I make a list, and the list, I equip the Red Beard onto the list, and I summon, basically I go full combo. I make Bran, Murk, and lists all in the same turn, and I make a Blackbeard too. But the thing is, I have 0 cards in hand, and I have no way to interrupt my opponent on his own turn. And Earth Machine is a very it's a difficult matchup for Plunder Patrol because they really only have one attribute, except for like Unclass Bear, which is a dark. But so yeah, he ends up just kind of he makes a Zeus. I think he uses a Lieb, and he he runs into my Murik. I droplet it, and then I Murik Protect because it's a hard made Murik, so I can just attach material, kind of like Dinkirsu. But then he makes Zeus. He Zeus's my entire board, and like I'm at like top deck mode at that point. And my other Black Eyes was banished off Pot of Desire, so I can't hope to draw into one of my 1-card combos. So I have to wait for, I think, drawing in Whitebeard to send it off of Golden Hair, which will then allow basically get my engine basically back online entirely. So I lose. I scoop it up because I realize because he just has total control. He has a guaranteed monster in the form of Anger Knuckle, so he can punch me for 15 each time. And then Anger Knuckle can summon back something even stronger, so I have nothing. Game 2, it was a grind fest. It was really just like a, like I sided in like Nibiru's, and I was hoping he'd try to go combo and I could nib him. I opened a Kaiju Slumber, and I crack his board, and then I can't establish a good enough board of my own because he disrupts me, and then he goes, I draw. Eventually I get into like, I'm basically in top deck mode and I have nothing, and like eventually like he ends on like a Regulus turn 1, and like there's nothing I can do. Like I couldn't, like the Regulus, like I think I forced it out with the Kaiju Slumber, but he negated it with the Regulus. So I forced it out, but I forgot that Regulus tributes itself for cost, so I can't actually droplet the Regulus. So I was like, what am I gonna do now? So I think game 2, my big misplay was assuming Regulus tributed anything and not just because I had 2 droplets in hand. I could have droplets, pitched a droplet, and then forced out the Regulus in my standby phase, and then I could have Kaiju Slumbered in my main 1 with priority. But I didn't. I went main 1, priority, Kaiju Slumber, he negates it, and I can't droplet a Regulus that isn't on the board. So, and we just get into a huge grind fest, and like my engine wasn't rolling, so I couldn't grind very well. But yeah, definitely really fun, really nice opponent too. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys for round 5 of the event. Hopefully I get at least 1 win today, but if not, it's fine. I'm having fun here, and I'm getting new experience out of it. All right, round 5 is in the books. I'm not happy about that round. Let's go over what I played. Played against Runic, Stun. I hate stun decks, dude. They're not fun to play against. Game 1, I think. Yeah, game 1. I end up breaking his life point loop with his Runic cards, and I don't game him really, but I get enough damage on board to put him like below 8,000 life points. I finally break his fountain loop and all that. He scoops up, we go to game 2. Game 2, I side in Twin Twisters, and dude decks me out like literally the worst game 2 of my life. Game 3, he banishes all copies of Twin Twister in my deck, and he had mine up on the field, so like yeah, so I'm not happy about that in the least bit. Probably play a few, maybe 2 more rounds. I'm not gonna go all 9 rounds, so I'm starting to get a headache already, and I'm about ready to back her up, really. I mean, I think it's about like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. No, 4:30 in the afternoon, and I've been here since it's like 9:30, maybe a little bit before that. This has been a really long day of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's been really fun. I bought some cards, bought a few cards, but yeah, I'm not gonna go all 9 rounds at this point. I'm X5, like I'm not topping, but definitely having a lot of fun, and definitely would do this again. I'm not gonna do it anytime soon, but maybe when I'm older, maybe when I'm a couple of years older, maybe got some more money, a actual competent deck, it's competently built, not established at 12 in the morning. But yeah, later on in this video, you'll see me do a deck profile of what I ran for the tournament, and then for the deck, I have all the pieces I need to actually, improve the deck. So I'm gonna, later next week, I'm gonna post a deck profile about the deck I played. Which at this point, if you don't know, it's Adventure Plunder Patrol. So, yeah, very interesting matchup so far. Only a few really felt I couldn't win them, really. The Runic Sprite matchup, I felt like I really could win that if I just had some better luck of the draw. My Earth Machine round 4, felt like I could have won that. The Axo Sister one really didn't, and same thing with round 2, but I should have, I'm thinking I should have brought more back row hate for this, mine's a hell of a card. I should have brought more back row hate. I don't know why I didn't, but yeah, I'll get back into it, and a couple more rounds, maybe only one more round, depends on really how I'm feeling at the end of round 6. Like if I want to drop, then I'll probably drop, and I'll honestly probably relax, do some tomorrow, maybe do a couple side events if I feel like it, or then if not, then just do a little bit of sightseeing, go home and get ready for the week. But yeah, this was really fun. This is a really great trip. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll see you guys for next round. Round 6 is in the books. I dropped. I am tired. 6 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! Some of the most competitive matches I've had playing Adventure Plunder Patrol, even though I barely even played with the deck with other people. But I'd say it's a very fun experience. If you have the opportunity, it's close by, and you got the money, and you got, the time, definitely go to a YCS or any upper level event. One of the most fun times I've had playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't even need to really go for gold or whatever. I went X5. And I had some of the most fun time I could ever have, really. And round 6, I pair up with a guy who he's next to me in 3 of my past 3 matches, and he's playing. At first I thought he was playing Ojama Stun Burn, because he used Trio, and I was like, great, I'm playing against this guy. And I seen some ABC cards in round 5, and I was like, yo, what is this man on? And he's playing actual Ojamas at a YCS. I was like, yo, I'm playing against Chaz Princeton.
All right, go time. Let's see what you got.
So here I am playing against Chaz Princeton, and he's got the Arm Dragon Thunders too, and he's going off. Game 1, I couldn't I didn't have enough resources to crack his board, so I scoop it up, go to game 2. Game 2, I don't want to say I OTK him, but I definitely take the game rather convincingly. I banish his Ojama country, and I think Kaiju's really just did him in, and I think on his turn he didn't do a lot, and he summoned blue, and he still had country at the time, so he crashed the blue into one of my lists, and he took 1,000, so he's at like 47 at that point. And his blue gets some like 2 Ojama cards, and then like he summons back with country, and he does all of this, and he gets all the original ones to his hand, and then like on my turn I make Morik on his turn, like in my standby phase. I make Morik on my standby phase. I banish it in my standby phase. I do a ton of effects in the standby phase, and I just absolutely plow through them for game. Game 3 goes into time, and I don't want to sound mean when I say this, but part of the reason was because he took some time. He took some time to taking his turn, which is fine. But I definitely had a hand that I could have cracked any board he made and gone for game, because I had Kaiju Slumber, I had, I think, Droplet too in Perm. I want to say Golden Hair and like Black Eyes was my hand, and like I drew in a Pot of Desires for turn. Like there was no way I wasn't winning that game. Goes into time, we go into phase, and we go. He lets me take it because I work around his board entirely. Like I dismantle it to the point where like if I had a battle phase, I could have gamed him, or I could have done enough. I could have dealt enough damage for there to be a noticeable gap, or for there to be a bridge of any kind. It would have been a big bridge though. I don't think I would have been able to OTK. So the field spell, but basically, like he gives me the match, which I'm very grateful for because it's my first win of the evening. But I did drop. I'm very, very tired, and I want to go to the room and relax. Bought some cool cards today. I met a fellow YouTuber. I met Pack. He signed something that will be a present for mine, because my mom bought it for me right in front of me. So like I'm gonna know this, but yeah. Next segment you guys will see in the video will be the deck profile segment, and then I'll talk about my overall thoughts about the event and what I would change, and yeah. And here we are, back in studio. So overall, I'd say a great deal about this event, but I said I'd give you guys a deck profile of what I played during the event. It wasn't good, but it worked somewhat. Got me one match win against Ojamas. It just sounds more sad that I talk about it, but yeah, being for my first event, I had a really fun time. I really enjoyed myself. I feel like I learned a lot about the game too. Like, I don't feel like I'm the same player that I was going into the event than I am now. I feel like I'm a lot more skillful, a lot more knowledgeable about the meta, about the matchups, about sort of everything. So, without wasting your guys' time, also the event wasn't a total waste. I made some pretty profitable trades, I'd say, and I'll show you those trades. And also I bought a few very shiny pieces of cardboard. So let's get on to the deck profile and stop wasting your time. All right, now onto the deck profile portion of things. This will be the deck list I used for the main event. I did enlist into some side events. In the one side event, I enlisted into Attack of the Giant card, to which I lost in the first round. So let's get right into the deck profile real quick. I'm not going to explain many of the card choices, just going to go through the ratios. So 3 Whitebeard, 3 Bluebeard, 2 Redbeard, 2 Black Eyes, and then 2 Golden Hair. Pretty standard for most Plunder Patrol lists, but I'm going to make a few tweaks going forward with the deck. On the Plunder Spell Traps, we're playing 3 shipping, and then 1 copy of Emblem and 1 copy of Plunder Patrol Booty in the main deck. And that is all for the Plunder Plunder portion. We'll be going off into the Adventure portion with 2 copies of Water Enchantress of the Temple, 1 Wandering Griffin Rider, 1 Fateful Adventure, and 1 Dragoback. And that's all. Then for the Kaijus, we're playing 1 Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju, 1 Radiant, the Multidimensional Kaiju, 1 Dogoron, the Mad Flame Kaiju, 1 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. And that's all for the Kaiju portion. 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and then I mean, I'm playing one other hand trap other than Ash Blossom, but for now that's what I have. So then I'm also playing for defensive cards, Triple Tactics, 3 copies of Droplet, and then 2 copies of Desires, 1 copy of Foolish, and then 3 impermanents to round out the main deck. Onto the extra, we're playing 2 copies of Liss, 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Predaplant Dragostapelia. Actually, 2 copies of Bran, 2 copies of Murik, 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, 1 number 41 Baguska the Terribly Tired Tapir, 3 copies of Blackbeard, the Plunder Patrol Ship Captain, or the Plunder Patrol Captain, then 1 copy of Salamangreat Al Mirage. That'll be all for the extra deck. It's a very tight extra deck. I'm kind of having trouble considering what I should cut for the extra deck in order to make changes, but I think I've settled on it for now. So we're playing 2 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being, 2 copies of Effect Veiler, 2 copies of Skullmeister, 1 copy of Radiant the Multidimensional Kaiju, 3 Super Poly, 3 Twin Twisters, and then 1 copy of Plunder Patrol Booty to round out the side deck. And that was the list I played in YCS Minneapolis with. For Attack of the Giant card, I took out the 2 copies of the shipping for Rite of Aramaziers, which I acquired after I turned in my deck list. Literally the night of, I traded for 3 copies of Rite of Aramazier and some other cards too. And then I also sided in an additional copy of Nibiru, which I also acquired the night before the event. But yeah, onto the things I got during the event. So obviously I traded for Nibiru the Primal Being. And as I stated, 3 triple copies of Rite of Aramazier. Then 3 copies of Small World. 1 copy of Fusion Destiny. The person I traded with wondered why I didn't pick up the 2 additional copies, and I already have 2. I just needed the 1 more. So now Branded Predaplants will be running 3 Fusion Destiny, 1 copy of IP Masquerena, 1 copy of Borrelsword Dragon or Borrelode Savage Dragon, and then I bought 1 copy of Splash Mage and 1 copy of Totally Awesome. And then for the packs I kind of got a bunch of nonsense, really. Though for the Attack of the Giant card packs, I did actually get myself a copy of my second copy of No Punk Deer Note. So I'd say that is pretty important to mention. But overall, I'd say pretty eventful event. Like, I'm definitely going to be making some changes, and I'm going to actually try experimenting with Small World in the deck. I was thinking of some bridges, and actually Water Enchanters at the Temple is actually a bridge to basically almost any of the Plunder Patrols. However, this is a very good card that can go into DDD actually, and it can also go into Speedroid too. I just need to get, more variants of things that aren't Speedroid. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Actually, not done yet. I'm gonna give you my final thoughts, kind of face to face, really about this event. So yeah. So final thoughts of the event are, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I definitely want to go and attend another YCS in person again, but it also makes me want to go to like a regional someday, or a Nats. Maybe not a Worlds. Well, maybe a Worlds. If I have enough money to throw at it, I'll go to Worlds. But yeah, this is really fun. I had a really great time. I Pack was cool. He was really cool for signing my playmat. I'm not gonna lie. I'll treasure that playmat. He doesn't even know who I am. He probably won't remember that he signed it for me, but he did. But yeah, it was a really, really fun event. I wish I had a proper deck list, because I think I could have performed a little bit better had I, had a good solid deck list. But what can you do? In Attack of the Giant card, when I had the Rite of Aramazers, I powered through an Adventure Sprite board pretty easily. I just sadly ran out of gas, because like if I had the field spell, I think I would have been able to get through it entirely and like still have like gas to go. But what can you do? Oh yeah, I also picked up a secret rare copy of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, so that's really cool. It's just really sad that you can't really see it on the card. It's pretty difficult to see. Like, I had to ask the vendor that was selling it, like, is that a secret rare copy of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon? And like he goes to me, he says to me, like, can you see it? Like, does it look like a secret? And like you can kind of like see like the shimmer of the pattern, like when you hold it in a certain way. But like even you take it out of the sleeve and like you can really barely see it, and it'd be a really beautiful secret rare. And I really enjoy secret rares, because like Predaplant Chlamydo Sundew is a really beautiful secret rare. It's a really big shame, and like Greedy Venom Fusion Dragon is. Chimera Rafflesia is a really beautiful secret rare too. So it's a really big shame that Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is just kind of like, you barely even see the foiling on the card. So what can you do? I saw tons of really good looking cards today. A ton of ghost rares, a ton of cards I wanted to buy. However, I'm suffering from the condition of broke right now. So my bank account was begging me not to. So I didn't spend that much. I think picking up the Toad, I saw an $8 Totally Awesome that I could get right then and there. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. But yeah, I'll be making changes to this list actively. In fact, I think I have all the cards I really need to make changes to this list. Any other changes I would make would be like adding more back row hate. Like, not enough back row hate kind of cost me round 5, because all my Twin Twisters were banished and mine was on the field. So if I play like Harpy's Feather Dust or Cosmic Cyclone, stuff like that, I'd be good to go. Another thing I would change is I wouldn't play Nibiru. Nibiru seems really bad this format against a deck that's currently like, I saw the most of it. I saw the most of Sprite in the event. So it seems like Nibiru is really bad against the deck, because they either make Gigantic Sprite and special summon off its effect before you can Nibiru them, or if they're playing like Adventure Sprite, they set up their Wandering Griffin Rider Omni Negate, which can stop the Nibiru. So it just seems like Nibiru is not that good at this format. It probably is pretty decently good against Tearlament, but like, again, there's just better cards this format than other cards. One thing I noticed in testing, because I was testing the night before with some guys that were also playing in the event, I was playing against I think a High Spirits tier player. And one thing I noticed, sort of, was targeted negation like Impermanence and Veiler were a lot more valuable than cards like Ash Blossom, which also makes me think maybe I should main deck Veiler instead of Ash this format, because it seems like targeted negation is very valuable this format. And like, it just seemed like Ash Blossom just as a card in general doesn't seem as valuable as a card, because if you try to Ash the Kikalos, you know what the Kikalos does? Target itself, send it to the graveyard, mill 5. Like, what are you stopping by ashing the Kikalos? If you impermanence the Kikalos, you stop them from not only foolishing a card, but you also stop them from milling 5 cards. So it really does seem like targeted negation is kind of the way to go this format. And yeah, so that's all like I personally observed about the format post Darkwing Blast. I know it'll change once Magnificent Mavens comes out. Once that happens, I think I really do think I'll have to do some more testing, because I don't think a single copy of Impermanence will be enough to stop Tier Element at that point. Like, once the Ishizu cards drop, like, I think I'll definitely have to figure out a way that's in budget in order to stop my opponent from, like, milling 18 cards and triggering so many effects. I think D-Shifter is definitely a very big option, because all the Tier Elements, I think, get effects when they hit the graveyard. With D-Shifter, they don't hit the graveyard, so I think D-Shifter will be like a major stopping point against Tier. So again, my personal thoughts, I'm kind of a meta dummy right now. I really should have, there's many things I should have done better to prepare for this event, but I still had a hell of a time. I met some pretty cool people too. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Bye.